Before finding NeuroStar, I was at the end of my rope. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a child and a husband that depended on me, but it didn't seem that wasn't pushing me to change my life. And with NeuroStar, it helped me to open my eyes. It was kind of like I had this great big gray cloud hanging over me all the time. I was very skeptical at first. I did not think it was going to work because I tried so many therapists and medications, and I just thought my brain was broke. Nothing was going to fix it. You would honestly think that when I had my daughter, when I got married, when I had my daughter, all this stuff, my depression would just be gone. And like I said, they were piling the medications on. I was calling them, and this isn't working. I'm going out of my mind. I've got to do something. And then therapist said, hey, what about, we're starting a new thing called TMS. What do you think about it? And I said, let's give it a shot. And then with each session, slowly and slowly, that gray cloud was being pushed out from over my head. So that made me, I think that was my biggest accomplishment, was actually not having that big gray cloud, that waking up in the morning and, oh, I've got to do this again, and having to make myself get motivated and started. It just kind of, I woke up one day and poof, it was gone. That gray cloud was pushed out of the way. And it was the most amazing feeling ever. I noticed particularly road rage. I didn't have that anymore. I was more calmer on the road, around my friends and family. I was a whole lot more laid back, easier to talk to, not as emotional. I didn't cry at the drop of a dime. I was just in general more pleasant to be around, and my anxiety even decreased with it. I looked forward to getting up, and it was like, oh yes, I get to go in and see, Leslie and Dawn and Dr. DeCruz, and it was just, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I had a routine. And now it's like, wake up, there's my kid, and instead of saying go back to bed or, just roll over, pull the blinds, it's, let's go get some lunch and go to the park. Let's go play outside. Let's go plant flowers. So it is a complete, I can't say enough about it. I mean, like I said, I've signed me up for a second dose. It's great, I think. Anybody that was on the edge like what I was, at the brink, you'd had the last straw was drawn, you didn't have anywhere else to turn, TMS is the way to go, because it saved me.
Seems like it was around the turn of the century that I started noticing things just weren't right. Kind of felt overwhelmed daily. And it's just hard to admit to yourself that you may have an emotional or mental health issue. And it's harder still to admit that publicly. But I started taking antidepressants sometime around 1999, 2000, and I've been taking them ever since. And over the last 2 or 3 years, probably starting around 2016, 2017, things just started getting foggier and foggier for me, and I had to dig deeper and deeper to fake it and make out like everything was still okay, which, you know, if you're suffer with depression, you learn how to do that. You learn how to get along with people, and you learn how to act like things aren't bad. And then when you're alone, you just feel overwhelmed. And I kept thinking things would be okay, and if I could stay busy, I was okay. And then when I was getting my physical, I talked to my primary care physician about it, and he recommended Bearden Behavioral Health to check it out and see if it'd work. And I'm glad I did. Well, I knew that it was non-invasive and non-pharmaceutical, and I was glad for that. And I was just willing to try anything. I'd gotten to the point that I was not ignoring files because they were on my mind all the time, but I wasn't doing the job for the client. I wasn't doing the job at home for my family, and it just seemed like I wasn't enjoying things as much as I should enjoy them, and I wasn't appreciating all the great things I had in my life. It's hard to admit to yourself, and it's hard to go public and talk to people about mental health or emotional issues. And especially, I felt like being a lawyer, I shouldn't let clients know that I was dealing with a problem and that sort of thing. And since I've had, gone through the TMS, I kind of look at it like, well, this really helped me. Maybe it'll help some other people. And I'm willing now to talk about it with anybody that wants to speak about it. And I think it's a very good thing. And a very, very dear friend has terminal illness and just found out. And it's those kind of things that before I'm not sure how I'd handle that. I might have just crawled completely into a cave. I don't know. But I'm now able to deal with it and still think, life's going to be better in the future. I just feel better about everything. I don't dread facing tomorrow or facing today or facing the next half hour. I'm still able to wake up and look at life with a little more joy, a little more hope than I did before. Things seem to be going better overall. Just even though I'm dealing with life's problems, I realize other people got these same problems, and it's not some curse on me. My wife and the people I work with have both said that I seem happier and brighter, and some of my neighbors at the lake, said I seem like I'm feeling better, and they didn't even know I was doing any treatment. If anybody's thinking about TMS, I'd strongly recommend it. Go into it with a good attitude and a belief it's going to be a positive experience, and it will be. And the people at Bearden Behavioral Health are more than generous with their spirit too to help you with getting along and getting through it all.
I've struggled with depression since I was a teenager, and in my 30s it got worse, and nothing seemed to help. My doctor put me on medication probably in my late 30s, but it just got worse as time went on. At its worst, you feel like you're in the pit of despair. You can't crawl out, and you can't see the sun. It's like having this big gray cloud over you the whole time. My son's mother-in-law is a wonderful person, and she and I were friends. She passed away suddenly, and I got to the place where I thought it would have been better if I had passed away and she had stayed to be a positive influence on the grandchildren. I did start therapy here at Bearden Health, and she was helping me. And then she suggested I try this, the TMS. When I first heard about it, I was eager to try it. I was desperate to try it. I mean, when you're living in a cloud and this takes the cloud away and you see colors and you feel like doing things and you want to do things and you're happy. I smiled more, that I was less sad. The joy in my life was back. I didn't notice it coming on. It's not like I could feel, oh wow, I feel better today, and the next day I feel better. It was just gradual, and one day I realized that wow, I really feel better. I mentioned it to my daughter, and she said, well, Mom, I wasn't saying anything. She said, but I could tell a difference in you within just 2 weeks. And my husband also. By the time we were through, if I was able to hop, skip, and jump, I would be. Leslie is fun. She's great. And Dawn is very, very sweet. It's really, I mean, everyone's so nice. It works. It's fantastic. It's painless. Yeah. So it has made all the difference. And I would encourage anybody who's having any kind of problem, I mean, do it. You have nothing to lose, really, and everything to gain because it works. Just ask my family.